George Soros starts a Center for American Progress with John Podesta. John Podesta's Center for American Progress selects the Obama transition team. Okay. Soros buys $900 million in gasoline-powered bras. Then, in a completely unrelated story, BP has their oil spill. But wait a minute. Who's this guy? John Podesta? John Podesta is the guy who does all the lobbying for BP? Certainly. I'm sorry, Tony Podesta, certainly no relation to John Podesta other than their brothers. We'll have to come back to that one later in the show. So then, Center for American Progress starts to make Obama policy. This one, we'll show you, laid out by Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal. One of the policies, cap and trade, which goes right to Crime Inc. and all of the Obama friends with the climate exchange in Chicago. That's weird. Then Obama suspends the deep water drilling at 1,500 meters. He says, hey, that's dangerous. 1,500 meters, that's crazy. Petrobras is drilling at 2,777 meters. Obama knows it and loans $2 billion to Petrobras. Last stop, Petrobras shareholders get rich. Oh my gosh, we're back at the beginning. Shareholder, Petrobras getting rich. You getting screwed. You see how this works? Don't you feel better inside? The American president is out looking for you. This administration is crippling the American competitors of Petrobras right now. The biggest winner in this oil spill and all of these things is Petrobras. Mind you, this is a multi-billion-dollar company that rakes in tens of billions of dollars in profit each and every year. Why would we loan Petrobras $2 billion? Why would we be loaning and investing in another country's offshore drilling while banning ours? A lot of questions. Good thing we have another 43 minutes. Circle of Crime keeps going around. Next.
So could these high prices help us?
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment.
Meanwhile, gas prices hit a new record high, and the Energy Department says you can expect $4 gas through the rest of this year and into next year as well.
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment.
Gas prices now hitting a new record high today, topping $4 a gallon.
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment.
It's cutting deep into our pockets, and gas prices have once again risen to another record.
And climate change is a great example. When I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Even, regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, natural gas, you name whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers. you can already see what the arguments are going to be during the general election. People will say, Obama and Al Gore, these folks, they're going to destroy the economy. This is going to cost us $8 trillion or whatever their number is. If you can't persuade the American people that, yes, there is going to be some increase in electricity rates on the front end, but that over the long term, because of combinations of more efficient energy usage and changing light bulbs and more efficient appliances, but also technology improving how we can produce clean energy, that the economy will benefit. If we can't make that argument persuasively enough, you can be Lyndon Johnson. You can be the master of Washington. You're not going to get that done.
Senators.
Because we got a lot of work to do, and it's boiling in this city. And the nice thing about New York at this time of year, it doesn't smell like vomit or urine at all. The Overton window, I want to tell you about this real quick. Out in bookstores everywhere. I wrote this book for people that, they're really, really close. You almost have them, but they need a story to go along with it. That's the Overton window. It's a thriller for summer. Read it. It's the last 20 pages or so are just the things that are in it that are true, that will boggle your mind. Available everywhere and at glennbeck.com/books. Okay. We're showing you the circle of deception in the Obama administration and the BP oil spill. It really is Crime Inc. This is a circle that is absolutely amazing. It's probably one of the bigger crimes, and no one in the media doesn't seem to care. I mean, I think that's the biggest crime. Nobody in the media seems to want to put a full day's work in. I'm sure it's just another one of the president's bad luck circumstances. Sure. Looks bad. George Soros, the influential progressive billionaire, heavily invested in Petrobras and stands to make a fortune if the value goes up. And guess what's happening to the value because of what's happening with the Gulf and the whole thing that the Center for American Progress, which he started and runs by John Podesta and Obama, is now doing. It's last break I showed you his Center for American Progress. I touched on the influence over the administration. Oh, stop with the conspiracy. Yeah. I want to show you the response in the BP oil spill. Way back on May 3rd, the Center for American Progress said the White House should demand BP set up an escrow account worth billions to pay the Gulf Coast residents. Do we have that anywhere? No, just in here? Well, we did it. Yeah, it was done last week. May 4th, Center for American Progress suggested that Obama name a commission to investigate the causes of the BP oil spill. And on May 22nd, Obama did it. May 21st, Center for American Progress, John Podesta, privately implored White House officials, name somebody to be the public point person for the spill response. Yeah. And then, surprise, surprise, the Obama administration did it. If I got any of this wrong, Mr. President, you just let us know. Yep, dial to, you got the number. You call me. This is not the first time that the Obama administration has listened to the Center for American Progress. They've got it all in here. All in here. They've got the Spain Green Jobs program. This is the report on Spain's green jobs. Okay? This is horrible. Damaging study comes out showing that for every green job gained, 2.2 jobs are lost in the private sector. Spain's already gone through this. Plus, each job gained costs hundreds of thousands of dollars in subsidies. Doesn't really look good. That's when Center for American Progress came to the rescue. Emails obtained through the Freedom of Information Act, do I have those here? Freedom of Information Act show that, here it is, here are the emails from the White House, Freedom of Information Act. They say, quick, White House, somebody call for the Center American Progress and wind lobbyists and give us a response to this. Here's the response from the Center for American Progress. White House didn't even know how to answer it, so they had to send out emails. Help! They did. CAP also tried to discredit the study by coming out with its own study, which demonstrated that such investments improve efficiency and conserve energy and have very high rates of return, paying for themselves in a relatively short period of time. Sure. Other CAP issues turned out to be Obama issues. The smart grid. This is a great one. In fact, California, they just passed a bill that requires the Public Utilities Commission to develop a plan for the smart grid. Isn't that great? Center for American Progress wants it. Now California has it. What's really great is you can't get out of the smart grid now. Good to be in California, isn't it? Financial regulation. Center for American Progress says federal regulators should be allowed to seize failing financial institutions. The House bill, regulators would have the power to stop banks on a case-by-case basis from risky activities. Isn't that weird? You know who else has said that? Soros. He suggested the president should have nationalized the banks. Here they are.
Are you satisfied with the job Barack Obama has done?
No, I'm not satisfied.
No.
He should have compulsorily replaced the capital that was lost.
Which in effect would have been nationalizing the banks.
This is what they call nationalizing the banks.
This is what they call, in my circles, where we all gather around conference room tables, people think we wear dark hoods and have candles around us. That's ridiculous. We're all naked at the time. But this is what we call nationalizing the banks. Oh, thank you for talking down to me, George. Last but not least, Center for American Progress promoted a spending bill that would jumpstart the economy. We all know what happened there, huh? Now we know the Apollo Alliance wrote the stimulus bill. It's no surprise, you ready? You're going to love this one, that John Podesta sits on the board for Center American Progress and the Apollo Alliance. It's a small world after all. So you can see the policies and the plan of action are near mirror images. Isn't it great? But don't forget, the man at the center of all of this, George Soros, can make billions of dollars. You won't be able to. You're going to get screwed in the deal, but he can. And he's working hard on putting a new system together for you. The great thing is the administration is helping him out. So far, it looks like they're willing to play ball, and they're doing it. But it goes deeper still. CAP's founder, John Podesta, has a brother named Tony Podesta. Remember I told you? Tony Podesta? What does Tony Podesta do for BP? Well, I want to show you this document. This is fantastic. Here it is. This is the lobbying report. I'm only showing you all of this stuff because I'm so sick and tired of people saying, Glenn Beck, he doesn't have any facts. This is the lobbying report right here. Tony and John got together and they started a lobbying company. Now, Tony just happens to be the lobbyist for BP. Okay? Now, this is weird because he's helping coordinate BP and John is helping coordinate the attack on BP, and they're brothers in a company that they both formed. It's almost like there might be a conflict of interest here. I'm trying really hard not to believe that this whole response to the oil spill is some sort of scripted progressive horror show here. But the more you find out, it's almost like there might have been a deal before BP. Why talk to the CEO? You didn't need to. John could just call up Tony. Tony could call John. George could set the deal, and Obama would execute it. Oh, I shouldn't say execution, should I? I'm just saying. Tony Podesta has more than one client. You ready? NBC Universal. Wait a minute. Hold it. Who owns NBC Universal? GE. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is starting to make sense. Who owns the smart grid technology that I just told you about in California? GE. Isn't that weird?